We'll dive into Eventide together in a minute, but it would be unfair of me to continue to cover Camelot and seemingly not regard, or in this case ignore, which I wasn't, I just keep forgetting to mention it, the beautiful case art on behalf of either their albums or their singles, because I look at both The Awakening. By the way, I love featuring Camelot on part of just regarding them as well in a reference on part of their case art, because it's just such an exquisite, beautiful album cover to look at, but the single art for Eventide is beautifully abstract. I love the color mixture. Red, white, and black are a great mixture for me, and they appeal instantly. I'm part of some other music groups as well that I've also regarded in connection to Camelot too, at least in some reference, but I just love looking at their art. And it sets up, I think, a tantalizing setup for where we're going to go with Eventide. Especially on Vision, pairing what you can see on tone of illustration to music. I've been very impressed with the capabilities of this band. Again, many of you, I'm sure, are quite delighted that I'm now getting to Camelot. I've been meaning to for a while, and I'm just approaching them. Having consulted in total so far 3 pieces off publicly, although I've heard the entirety of the album at this point, The Shadow Theory, and now 1 track thus far off of The Awakening. But of course, as I said, minus the introduction, we're covering the entirety of the album here. I just had a feeling with Camelot, and Shadow Theory kind of determined this in part beyond just my original suspicions. We're going to have some fun with Camelot in their entirety, because I've just been so bedazzled by their quality as artists. And again, I love the European rock and metal scene. Anything with Camelot's regard adjacent to it, I'm part of the record label. But especially on Napalm Records talent, I've been very impressed with the variety of the artists that they carry, and I can't wait to dive deeper. Again, many of you have suggested plenty of names that fit that regard that we'll get to eventually, and Camelot at one point was just one such name featured, but now they're here. As I spotlight music on the channel that I think is delightful and worth your attention en masse, again, it's amplifying as beautiful pieces of art, which Camelot deserves a recognition at this point. I'm still younger in my days. I was where maybe some of you are approaching, right? Maybe some of you have heard the name Camelot. They get pretty good circulation, at least from what I understand. I've heard of them long before I brought them on, or even I think that it was recommended to me, to be fair. Maybe some of you are sitting at that position. I know a number of you are not, that you're familiarized Camelot fans with a deeper understanding of the library than I have currently, though I will hopefully join soon. Not in years yet, you're still advanced me, but in understanding. I do hope to mesh myself in your ranks much more deeply. We're going to do that together on part of The Awakening, of course, in full, but maybe some of you are approaching again from that first regard, but I was at initially with The Shadow Theory. I do hope there's some of you that fit that bill, and if I can in any way manage this with this channel as I bring music on in such a grander focus, which has been a long time ambition for mine, many of you know that I've stated as such, it is a first love in my life in the arts world. And I like that fellowship experience that we can in some way have, right? Just for entertaining good pieces together on a first introduction, especially based on your many recommendations. I always admire those, and I welcome more. You continually fulfill that demand as well. It seems on every video there's just a whole litany of names I've not cataloged yet, but that are offered. I do hope that for those of you who are approaching on a first name basis, you're going to be quite thrilled with where Camelot goes in terms of their music. And I think in every measure, vocal respect, the symphonic and power emphasis, the riff structure, the track constructions, the vision, the writing, I've been very impressed with what I've heard thus far. 4 pieces with you, now going on a 5th with Eventide. So, here we go. Next piece, as we make our way down the rabbit trail of The Awakening, which I've been wanting to do for a while. As I stated in the past, every artist I consult on this channel, I pre-buy their music in order to support the artist, and they've been sitting on for a little while now. And I don't mean to make them collect dust, so we're getting to them today. I'm finally fulfilling that goal. I'm wanting to, again, with Camelot. I've just been dying to hear more after The Shadow Theory, and we're going through the entirety together with The Awakening. I've been very excited for today to come. So, Eventide. I'm going to go ahead and pull up a song, and as many of you know, I like to provide the lyrics as well to fit your interest. If you want to read along with the narrative of the piece, those will be provided directly in the video, and you'll see those pop up as soon as the song commences now. Alright, here we go. Eventide. I like that dance at the beginning. This is a really good introduction, mesh with that key. Here we go. I like that emphasis. Especially again with that power symphonic hybrid. I love this. And the riffs worked really well here. Nice twist on that with the keyboard. You think it's gonna go softer and they switch. There's the strings. Oh, I love that entrance point. It's a very romantic opener. Nice pacing on that. This chorus has an exquisite flow. Favorite so far. The Great Divide was good, but this reminds me, in terms of key choice, of a couple pieces off of Shadow Fury. It's really landing for me. That Until is getting, especially again, it has that serves as a transition, meshed with a darker vocal presence, much deeper and more guttural. It's such a wonderful idea. I was wondering if they're going to mix that background whisper with the riff. And they did. That's interesting. It's a curious pairing. I really like the scope of this work, though. Again, it's got such a beautiful flow and scope. Thank goodness that was uneven. I love that. Such a good choice. And end strong. Oh, it's wonderful. Just let it sit. Throw it all at me. Best of the album thus far. We're only 2 tracks in. And you know, hey, I don't like to rank things because, you know, I don't like to overshadow other good works as well, because it feels like then I'm lessening the impact of another song. And I liked that first introduction, especially as a first album opener. It was quite effective. And this is just the next piece. The scope on it is just amazing. Again, the craft, the unity on that piece as well. How everything just works and flows. And the narrative vision. I mean, it goes from, I would say, what it first came across to me as a bit of a like romantic temptation. It's so descriptive as well on its imagination. Passing through the dark, like, silent ships at night. I mean, there's, like, some familiar terms, especially in the realm of poetry, that this kind of evokes for me in other types of writing constructions that I've entertained. But not just, again, in songs, but also in just, you know, traditional narrative composition. It's a familiar vision of, like, 2 people, you know, at sea together on a boat, but it's sort of this, like, parting of ways journey we take. So where it first sounds like this exchange... Oh, it's just so pretty, though, again, when I read the chorus. Shine your light in eventide, companion till all hope has died. Oh, it's so, oh man, it's touching. Until life and death will reunite, your song shall guide me through my house of pain. Oh, So incredible. I love that. Beautifully worded. So again, like I said, maybe it has a familiarized essence because of a more widely used and featured subject in the realm of narrative poetry. I mean, you could extrapolate this to other writing styles as well, but poetry comes to mind first because it's a preferred writing genre for me. As I said in the last video, for me, I recognize lyrics right off the bat because I come from a writing background in terms of what I majored in and graduated in. So it's one of the things I first recognize. Especially in poetry, it's my preferred writing style besides creative nonfiction, like memoir stuff, or I've written short story as well. It's kind of the preferred space I like to be in, especially when it comes to poetry, though. I love the figurative imagination of it. So that's kind of, again, where my mind sets my judgment, maybe in accordance to other works that I've read or listened to. It has a familiar entrance point that changes, especially as it manifests an individual vision. Oh, it's so pretty. Just, oh man, the company more comforting than words could ever say. Until the ending pages I will stay. I mean, again, it maybe have wide application. Music and lyrical analysis can be a subjective experience, right? And they might touch the individual listener in ways that contrast from one another. I think we could all acknowledge, though, but it's beautifully eloquent. It's very moving in that respect, and again, paired with such a wonderful tune. Great subtle choices as well. But the overall bass line, again, mixture of the riff with a symphonic and power hybrid presence, for me at least. It's just so effective. And this song, again, it's stagnant in how they introduce themselves on both metrics. It sort of, again, transitions to the entirety of the song, with some points of drop-off and deviation. Nice twist at the beginning, too, with that piano cue. Think, oh, we're going to get softer for the verse. Oh, no, you didn't. It's like it swung right back in. Great choice. And on the, where was the other spot? I think it was towards the pre-chorus. It's an abrupt switch, right? It's not paced out accordingly on time. I think it switches for like 3 measures instead of the 4 that would normally be expected. To go back into that final chorus, worked perfectly. Great choices. Beautiful stand-up work, in my opinion, with this. In accordance, again, and we're only 2 tracks in, as I said, to The Awakening. We're very early in its run, but what a beautiful piece to entertain together and listen to. I mean, again, on art, that just, it astounds me. Again, Kamelot just has such a wonderful presence, and I imagine on frequent replays this will be. I already know for sure, like, at least tonight, I got another excursion I got to go to later this evening, and, you know, little window, as I said for it with me, when I drive, I have to have music on. I just do. And I have a lot of the talents I featured here on pretty regularly, especially in the European scene. KAMELOT, yes, this piece, I'm going to listen to it again tonight for sure. I know I'll be playing it again with the windows open. It's always what I do. You know, I like to advertise, if I can, good music when I hear it, and sometimes it's just in passing. You might hear somebody with some good tune on that, you know, if they're quick enough, they can Shazam it or something and find out immediately, oh, that's the track. I should look deeper at KAMELOT. I do have a number of other artists as well. Really, again, anybody that I feature on the channel or maybe soon to come. And KAMELOT's just the latest talent I'm gracing. I love hearing it, though. I mean, again, with specific intention. Namely, I'm part of, again, fulfilling your recommendation requests, and I've been meaning to for a while, and I'm glad I did. I'm satisfied, as always, with anything along the European attribution line. What are your guys' thoughts with KAMELOT's piece here, and where does it fit in order for you thus far in the journey of the awakening? I'd love to hear about that down below, as well as, again, your angle of approach. I do desire that there is a mixture of you, and again, I welcome both respects ardently. Whether you are a longtime KAMELOT fan, welcome. If you're a newbie listener, maybe a first initiate, this is your first piece humoring KAMELOT, and maybe it compels you to look deeper, welcome here. We're going to be taking a deeper journey again with the Awakening thus far. I'd love to hear your standpoint on the piece down below, and again, your angle of approach, if you wish to disclose that down below. I can't wait to hear more. 2 pieces in, the KAMELOT, The Awakening is manifesting beautifully as an exquisite collection of work thus far. And I would imagine, again, that's going to carry for the entirety of the album. Eventide, beautiful contribution. Love the scope of it, the personality, individualized on part of the Great Divide as well, with some mainstay elements that are very familiarized with KAMELOT, but I just love I love the choices here with this piece on structure. It's such an enviable piece, a work of art. I love humor in it. Fabulous debut, in my opinion. Thank you so much for watching this video. Before you bounce, feel free to drop a like and comment, subscribe to this channel with a ding on the bell, and share this video with your friends. And consider checking out the description here. There you'll find links to my other channels, as well as addresses to my other social media accounts and ways you can help support my work if you feel so inclined. May God bless you, and looking forward to when our paths cross again.